You're going. Yes, sir, you're live.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Anajari platform on environment and farm. Today, we have a very special speaker touching a very special theme for the environment. And as you know, when I host, it is often waste management. Today's topic is biogas or waste to energy for the organic waste. We'll be meeting one of the persons probably that will inspire you all through that what we can do differently, how we can think differently. We are going to hear today Madhurya Das. Madhurya is a director of the GPS Renewables Private Limited, and he has been working in this sector since 2014. Is that correct, Madhurya? If I'm not getting the...
Yeah.
GPS Renewable is a leading bioenergy technology company which has built a BioUrja, the most efficient and disruptive organic waste management or waste to energy solutions in the world. And we are pretty excited to hear about it, that what makes it very different and disruptive. Madhurya leads the execution of the generating power from the organic municipal waste. In Guwahati, he has just set up his first plant. And today we are happy to welcome you. But before I let Madhurya speak on this platform, let me tell you a couple of sentences about Madhurya. It was the year 2014 that Madhurya returned and thought that what he can do differently and how can he contribute to his state where he was born and brought up. So he decided to roam around and check and realized that there is plenty of things to be done in Assam. You know, Assam has never figured out in one of the cleanest state in India for since the Swachh Bharat mission has just started. Many of you know that it started in the late 80s with toilets and more recently with waste management, but we are still to figure out even in the top 20. And after meeting his friend at Bioenergy, he decided that this is one thing that probably will solve some of the pressing problems that the Guwahati city in general faces and towns in Assam. So it is a big sacrifice. People like Madhurya can make a hell lot of a good money, a hell lot of a good name in being in bigger cities. But somehow, like many of us, he has decided to come back and work in Northeast. And we applaud you for that, Madhurya. Welcome to the platform and welcome. We are eagerly waiting to hear your journey. The platform is yours, Madhurya. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Sanjay sir and the Anajari team. So, as Sanjay sir had mentioned, so my journey with waste management started in 2014. The objective was to, so when I came back, I was working in Delhi in the financial services. And when I came back to Guwahati, I was thinking to start something on my own. But I was not clear what do I want to do. I was thinking of food processing. I was thinking of other aspects. And then when I came here, then so I was brainstorming what to do, what not to do in Guwahati, and then I figured out that Guwahati has this huge waste management issues, and then I was figuring out that what could be the solution. So then my batchmate from IIM Bangalore, Manak, I spoke to him. So he was working on waste management, developing a technology. And GPS was started by him and one of our seniors in IIM Bangalore. And so I spoke to him and he said that, why don't you come over and check what's the technology about? So, and I went there, I liked the technology and then I figured out, yeah, we can do something here. But as you know that things are really slow in Assam. So what happened was that I joined GPS full-time in Delhi. But yeah, with my strong connection to Assam, I kept on shuttling between Delhi and Guwahati to set up a biogas plant here, which took quite a lot of time. But yeah, I think this could be a breakthrough for the waste management sector in Assam. So I'll just start off with by presenting what about GPS, what we do as a company, and then a video on the technology, some aspects of the different plants that we have, and then what's the way forward that we are looking to, and the challenges that we see going forward. So I'll just can I share my screen now?
Yes, sir, you can.
We can see the screen, Madhavji.
You can see. Okay. So GPS was now been started in 2012, and then we have about 4 patents awards across various genres, like international awards also we have received. The whole crux of the development of the technology was that in any city, about 50%, 40 to 50% of the waste is organic. So now what happened was that there is already an unorganized sector for the plastic. So whenever you are generating waste, whenever city generates waste, the plastic is taken by the rag pickers, the paper is taken by the rag pickers. Then there are other associations also which do or work in an organized way, but not that much. But the bulk of the waste, which is the organic waste, which is the food waste, which is in the waste parlance, it's called the wet waste, that remains. And no one was taking care of it. And that was the source of the excuse me. And that was the source of the biomethane, the methane generation, which is the greenhouse gases. So the whole objective was that why not do something about that part, the biggest part, but which is not been taken care of it. So then we figured out that, yeah, biogas as a solution has been in India for a long time, but it was not in an urban context. It was more in the rural areas where the cow dung was the source. But with rapid urbanization in the country, the solution needed was more from an urban-centric solution, where everywhere we go, we see that the density of the cities in the country has been increasing. Guwahati, as you know, Tinsukia, Silchar, Jorhat, everywhere the density in the urban areas has been increasing. The population is increasing, yes, but the rate of growth in the cities is much higher in the urban areas. And at the same time, the disposable income of people in the cities are increasing. So across worldwide, there is a tendency to generate waste increases as the disposable income of the people increases. So we place lesser value on the food that we eat. In terms of scarcity, we eat every morsel of food, but when there is plenty, the tendency to waste becomes more. So the solution we needed to figure out was a urban-centric solution. So I'll just play a short video which will just go through what we have done and what's the technology about. It is a case study by BIRAC, where we got the funding for the initial research, and they covered us as a success story a couple of years back. So we'll just go through 2 of the case studies of ITC Maurya and Taj Palace, which are 2 of the flagship hotels in Delhi. And then I'll just go through the other aspects. Is the video clear?
Yes, sir. There's some lag. Okay, now it's fine.
It's okay.
हमारा आधुनिक जीवन दिन ब दिन बेहतर होता जा रहा है। इसका श्रेय जाता है उन वैज्ञानिकों को जो हमेशा नई नई खोज करते रहते हैं। ऐसी ही एक खोज की वजह से आप अपने होटल या ऑफिस के बचे हुए खाने से ईंधन बना सकते हैं। ऐसी तकनीक आप तक ला रहे हैं जीपीएस रिन्यूएबल्स के फाउंडर माइनक चक्रवर्ती, और अभी से उनका बायोगैस प्लांट आईटीसी मौर्य, ताज एनक्लेव जैसे 5 सितारा होटल्स ने अपनाया है।
हम लोग ऐसी कुछ आइडिया पे काम करना चाहते थे जिसका एक बड़ा सा सोशल और एनवायरमेंटल इम्पैक्ट हो। हमने जो देखा कि बायोगैस ऐसी चीज है, वो अरसे से था। आप एक गड्ढे में भी आप वेस्ट डालोगे, उससे ऊर्जा बनेगी, बट उसको अगर कंसिस्टेंटली बनाना है, इफ यू वांट इट टू वर्क लाइक अ जनरेटर एंड fit it into the urban context, उसके लिए काफी इंक्रीमेंटल इनोवेशंस की जरूरत है, जो कि हमने किया। तो हमने बेसिकली जो फंडामेंटल साइंसेस है उसके ऊपर, चाहे वो माइक्रोबायोलॉजी हो, बायोकेमिस्ट्री हो, मैकेनिकल की, मेकाट्रॉनिक्स की बात करें, हर फील्ड में हमने काफी इंक्रीमेंटल इनोवेशंस किए, जिसकी वजह से हमें आज काफी बड़ा एक एडवांटेज मिलता है।
बायोगैस बनाने वाले प्लांट्स तो बहुत हैं, पर वो आकार में काफी बड़े होते हैं। बड़े बड़े शहरों में जगह की कमी को ध्यान में रखते हुए मेहनत चक्रवर्ती ने इस प्लांट को बनाया है। आपके ऑफिस या व्यापार के आकार के अनुसार इस प्लांट को डिजाइन किया जाता है और ये मौजूदा मशीन्स के मुकाबले काफी आसानी से चलाया जा सकता है, क्योंकि ये बायो प्लांट 80% ऑटोमेटेड है।
अब जैसे होटल्स की बात करें, कॉर्पोरेट्स की बात करें, रिलीजियस इंस्टीट्यूशंस की बात करें, एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशंस की बात करें, इन सब केसेस में इनपुट जो है फूड वेस्ट होता है। किसी भी होटल को आप ले लेंगे, हर रोज जो वेस्ट पैटर्न है चेंज होता रहेगा, कुछ कंसिस्टेंसी नहीं होती है। तो एग्जैक्टली जैसे हमारी बॉडी भी बिहेव करती है, ये प्लांट्स भी बिहेव करते हैं। एज फार एज द क्लाइंट इज कंसर्न, अगर किसी ने वो सिस्टम सेटअप किया है, कोई उससे अगर एनर्जी बना रहा है और यूज कर रहा है, it should not affect them ideally. उनके लिए एक ब्लैक बॉक्स जैसा होना चाहिए, एक जनरेटर जैसा होना चाहिए, and that is what we do through the role of technology.
इन प्लांट्स की खास बात ये है कि इनमें सिम कार्ड लगते हैं, जिसकी बदौलत ये मशीन्स दुनिया में कहीं भी इंस्टॉल हो, बैंगलोर से ही इन मशीन्स का पर्यवेक्षण किया जा सकता है। इससे ये निश्चित किया जाता है कि सारी मशीन्स सुचारू रूप से चल रही हैं।
क्लाइंट्स को बताना कि एक नई टेक्नोलॉजी और ये काम कर सकते हैं, उसमें काफी कन्विंस करने में काफी टाइम लगा। तो पहले प्लांट से मे बी 5वें प्लांट तक पहुंचने में काफी टाइम लगा, बट 5वें से 50वें प्लांट तक में ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लगा। हमारे प्लान जो है 100 kg पर डे से लेके आज के डेट में 30 टन पर डे के स्केल में है। हमारे ऑलमोस्ट 50 प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं ऑल अक्रॉस इंडिया, बांग्लादेश, यूएस। मैक्सिमम जितने प्लांट्स हैं वो फूड वेस्ट प्रोसेस करते हैं एंड दे हैव बीन सेट अप इन बल्क वेस्ट जनरेटर्स। बल्क वेस्ट जनरेटर्स की बात करें, वी आर टॉकिंग ऑफ होटल्स, कॉर्पोरेट्स, एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशंस, रिलीजियस इंस्टीट्यूशंस जैसे क्लाइंट्स हैं।
इस प्लांट के विश्व भर में लोकप्रिय होने की एक वजह ये भी है कि विदेश में बने दूसरे बायो प्लांट्स के मुकाबले ये 1/3 खर्चे में उपलब्ध है। ये प्लांट मेक इन इंडिया का एक बेहतरीन उदाहरण है।
स्पेशली अगर इंटरनेशनल कॉन्टेक्स्ट की बात करें, we have the same or probably higher efficiency than any of, let's say, the European solutions, but at an Indian price, maybe 1/3 the price. तो खासकर इंडिया के अगर बाहर जाएं तो इस सोल्यूशन का रेलेवेंस और भी ज्यादा बढ़ जाता है।
हमने ये प्लांट बायोजब प्लांट जून 2016 में लगाया था। जितना हम इन्वेस्टमेंट लगाते हैं इसमें, ये हमें 3 से 4 साल के अंदर हमें उसका पे बैक दे देता है।
इस प्लांट को लगाने के बाद हमारे को जो बेनिफिट हुआ, वन बेनिफिट है जो हमारा एक भी वेट जो गार्बेज है, वी आर नॉट थ्रोइंग आउट, वी आर नॉट सेंडिंग टू आउटसाइड फॉर द फर्दर ट्रीटमेंट। वी डोंट नो हाउ द पर्सन गोइंग टू ट्रीट इट, वो कैसे ट्रीट करेगा उसको, इसलिए हम लोग सारा का सारा वेट इसमें डाल रहे हैं। और यदि सब हम 1 टन kg वेट डाल रहे हैं, उसमें 70 kg ऑफ LPG इक्विवेलेंट टू सिलेंडर हमारे को प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है, जहाँ पे कि हमारे स्टेट किचन में जाता है, किचन के शेफ लोग उसको यूज कर रहे हैं, एंड वी आर नॉट इंक्रीजिंग एनी पॉल्यूशन इन द सिस्टम।
इतने बेमिसाल इनोवेशंस संभव हो पा रहे हैं क्योंकि उनको मिल रहा है बायरैक का साथ।
तो ऑपरेटर कंट्रोल एंड मिनिमम मैनुअल इंटरवेंशन इज द की फॉर दिस प्लांट। तो उस वजह से इस प्लांट का जो फेलियर रेट है वो ऑलमोस्ट 0 है।
There would have been very few takers for supporting such a crazy idea. So Bayrak, I think, has been the biggest pillar in our journey so far.
अपने ऑफिस या अन्य संस्थाओं में इस अभूतपूर्व बायो
Yeah, so that was just a brief about the technology. Team, you can, if you think there is anything you didn't get in the video, you can just jot it down for the questions later on. So yeah, so we have set up in across different industries. We have in hotels, we have in educational institutions, religious institutions. We have in Akshay Patra, which is then we have in Symbiosis. So we have across. So the whole traction for this came about when the solid waste management rules of 2016 came, where now any organization which is generating more than 50 to 100 kg of waste per day in the campus have to process the waste outside. So what this means is that now you cannot throw away the food waste. Earlier what was happening was that there were people who were just taking away the wasted food, using for different, they were using in pig farms, they were using for other issues, which was again polluting the environment. It was creating issues so it was a very limited sector. So that's why now every institute. So now anyone who is generating waste needs to uh, process it at site. So so this has helped us in a big way, and it has also helped us. So this is the compliance part that the government has brought in, and this has helped us as well as other biogas players to get their solution across, and also to people to understand that yes, I can't just throw away my waste. I have to ensure that scientific way of processing is required. And food waste, the two best ways of processing is composting and biogas. But composting has other different issues associated in an urban center. That's why biogas becomes the best possible solution for a processing of food waste in the as of now. So this is a small picture of our plant in Intel. So this is just a 200 kg per day plant. As shown in the video, we can see all the details of the plant, how much capacity it has, how much feed, last feed was there, what's the pressure in the plant was there. So this information we get all day long. And this is what keeps all of our 80 plants across the country live. Even we have plants, even in Sri Lanka, we are setting up plants in Maldives, and we have a running plant for last 3 years in Andamans. So all these plants are managed, monitored from our office in Bangalore. And every day our people call up the operators based out of there and tell them that how much feed needs to be going, what are the additional enzymes that needs to go in to maintain the health of the plant. We call it the health of the plant because a biogas plant is a biological system, much like a human body. So we have to ensure that the feeding or the food that the plant eats is managed in such a way that the health remains in a stable condition and there is not too much of acidity development in the system. Another unique aspect that we brought was that we have redesigned the system, customized the system in such a way for every client. As per the location of the client, so we have to make sure that because again, real estate is premium in any city, and we have to ensure that the plant is as per the aesthetics, as per the space constraints of the plant. So on the left, which you say is ITC Maratha, this ITC Maratha is one of the premier hotels of Bombay. Bombay, as you know, again, space is very limited. So we had to do this in two levels. So the ground level has the shredder and the hydrolyzer, pre-digester. And then the top level has the digester and the gas storage vessel. So again, on the right side, this is in our IT park in Bangalore. Again, you will see this is a 2-ton per day plant right near the corner of a building, so that everyone, there is no additional space that we have taken, and just whatever available space was there in the corner of the building, we have taken that. So this ensures that the client does not need to use additional space for the plant, and this becomes a very good solution for the city. So this is basically what our process looks like. So as you can see, the food waste comes from here. This is a patented shredder mixture. The food is then made into a pulp here. From this shredder mixture, it goes to a hydrolyzer. So the first stage of biogas generation. So first, the biogas or the biomethanation process, it has 4 stages. And the first stage is called hydrolysis, where the food is broken down in the presence of water. Food waste already has 70-80% water in it. So it's basically, with the help of enzymes, it is broken down here in the hydrolyzer. From the hydrolyzer, it goes to the digester via the shredder again. So the hydrolyzer has a capacity of 5 days. It ensures that the food breaks down into long-chain fatty acids, and from there it goes to the digester. Here the waste sits down for 30 days. In that 30 days period, the gas production is happening in a continuous way, and biogas has about 60% methane, 40% carbon dioxide, less than 1% H2S and water vapor. But this is again required to scrub. So these 2 scrubbers are there. So we scrub out the H2S and the water vapor from there, and then it is stored in a twin balloon system. So again, this twin balloon system is a very unique patented technology that we have, and it's a very Indian Jugadu way of measuring gas. So there are two balloons. So the flow meters, biogas flow meters to measure gas that are available in the market are operate at very high flow rates. So, but in this case, since it's a smaller system and in an isolated location, we have to ensure that we get a accurate measurement, and those flow meters were not able to give the accurate measurement. So the twin balloons store the gas. How many times the balloon gets filled every day, we get to know. And that gives an accurate measurement of the gas being produced, which again is reflected back into a central server system. From the twin balloon, as soon as one balloon gets filled up, our automatic compressor starts and stores the gas in the pressure vessel. So this is a pressurized storage tank. We store the gas at 5 bar. And from the pressure vessel, it goes to the kitchen for cooking, or it can go to a genset to generate electricity, depending on the usage. Then suppose there is a leakage in the system, or the gas that is being generated is not consumed, then there is again an automated flaring system. This is automated flaring system is required because you cannot release methane directly into the air. You have to ensure that the biogas is burned and only CO2 is released, because methane, if you release, that is at least 21 times more harmful than CO2. And right now there are studies which suggest that methane may be even 35 times more harmful than CO2. So we have to ensure that methane is not released into the atmosphere. And this is where a whole food waste processing also required, because if you just throw away the food waste, as it keeps decaying, it generates methane which escapes into the atmosphere, which harms the ozone layer. And then this is the biohealth checker or the digest sample, again a patented solution, where from the digester we take a sample of the digester that is inside the digester, and we get to know what is the health of the digester from those samples. So that is an everyday process that we do, and this is a 80% automated process. Only the feeding and testing of the samples is manual. Everything else is automated, which ensures that any semi-skilled person, any operator or a housekeeping person in any hotel or any semi-skilled person of any organization can be trained to do this. So this is the installation gallery. I'll just go in detail of all the plants. So this on the left is a plant in Whitefield in Bangalore, where it is in an apartment complex. On the right, this is the plant that we have in IIM Bangalore. It's a 400 kg per day plant. So I'll just show you as how a short video on another innovation that we have done, where so this video is basically in Taj Palace Hotel in Delhi, where we have this burners, biogas burner. So what you see burning, so what will you just pause it for here. So what you see burning is the biogas, which is the bigger burner, and inside is the PNG burner or pipe natural gas, which is the primary source of fuel for the hotel. So now the hotel couldn't have any additional space, nor they can switch over the vessel that they are heating from one kitchen to the other, one kitchen range to the other. So we have to ensure that it is incorporated in the kitchen sink range that they have itself. So then here you see the outer bigger burner is the biogas burner, and the inner is the PNG burner. So we have to ensure that the flow rate of the biogas generates the same amount of heat as the PNG burner that they used to get, so that the cooking experience is not compromised. So this is another innovation that we take. Yeah. So the whole idea was that not to do something disruptive by one go, but to have some incremental innovation based on the market requirements, so that as a whole the solution becomes disruptive. And that is the fact that because of which we now have the highest number of biogas plants in the country. And currently we are going forward, we are also in talks with a lot of municipalities to set up biogas plants for them, because municipalities again have that responsibility to ensure that the waste processing is happening in a scientific manner. So based on this technology and the experiences of working with the government machinery and how to get to identifying the sites, to seeing that we are able to qualify for the tender, also as well as ensuring that we are the lowest bidder in the tender. Everything for the Guwahati plant that we have set up, I was involved in. So I'll just share the video. We have recently inaugurated a plant on 13th of August, and I'll just share that video.
বায়োমিথেনেশন প্লান্ট হয়। বায়োমিথেনেশন আপোনাৰ বায়োগেছ প্লান্ট বুলি ক'ব পাৰি, যোনটো আমাৰ পুৰণা গোবৰ গেছ প্লান্ট আছিলে তাৰে আপোনাৰ এটা এডভান্স প্লান্টৰ অকল আপোনাৰ কাউ ডাঙৰ পৰা হৈছে, গোবৰৰ পৰা হৈছিলে। এতিয়া আমি মিউনিচিপাল সলিড ৱেষ্ট যোনটো তাৰে অৰ্গেনিক পাৰ্টটো সেইটো দি আপুনি হেৰি কৰিব পাৰি, সেইটো দি আমি বায়োগেছ জেনেৰেট কৰিম। এই প্লান্টটো আপোনাৰ ডেইলি 5000 কেজি বায়োগেছ প্লান্ট 5000 কেজি মিউনিচিপাল সলিড ৱেষ্ট প্ৰচেছ কৰিব আৰু 800 ইউনিট ইলেক্ট্ৰিচিটি জেনেৰেট কৰিব। তাৰে উপৰি ইয়াৰে আপোনাৰ 450 কেজি আমি সাৰো পাম। চ' সেইটো দুটা আমাৰ ভেলুৱেবল আউটপুট হৈ যায় আৰু যোনটো ইলেক্ট্ৰিচিটি জেনেৰেট হ'ব সেইটো দি আপোনাৰ গোটেইখিনি এইখিনি এৰিয়া ষ্ট্ৰীট লাইটখিনি জ্বলাব পৰা যাব। চ' এইটো আমাৰ কোম্পানী GPS ৰিনিউৱেবলছে কৰিছে।
So that was a very proud moment for me, because this is the first biomethanation plant in the northeast of India, and we hope that that we can do many more here, because this is just a 5 ton per day plant, and Guwahati itself is generating 600 tons of waste every day, out of which at least 200 to 50 tons will be organic waste. So we are now just catering to only 5% of 2% of what the waste that the city can generate. So as and when we can, we will be able to get better segregation efforts in place and segregation systems in place. We can set up bigger and bigger biogas plants, so that any wet waste that is coming out of the city is processed and ensured that it is getting us some valuable outputs. So we'll just quickly browse through the projects that we have. So this is in IIM Bangalore, again, as I highlighted before. This is a 400 kg per day plant. We generate about 56 meter cube of biogas, which is roughly equivalent to about 28 kgs of LPG every day. So now the cooking in IIM Bangalore campus is now happening on biogas. Primary source is once the biogas gets over, then they shift it to LPG. This is in Taj Fisherman's Cove in Chennai. A 500 kg per day plant. Then ITC Maratha, which I had already highlighted, this is a 750 kgs generation. Then this is a disparate model. I'll explain the disparate model later on. This is how we want to go for urban India going forward. So the focus is to have a disparate model and a municipality-based model to ensure that we cater to each nook and corner of any city. This is in Bosch, Coimbatore. Again, this is a captive plant generating 28 kg of LPG. This is a plant in Bangladesh. The source of waste is not food waste, but it is poultry litter, and the output is power generation. This is in Intel Bangalore. This is IIT Bombay. Again, it's a 2 ton per day plant, and then the campus itself is right now generating about 6 to 8 tons per day, and then we hope that once this plant is successfully running and we are able to showcase that the veracity of our product, then we can move up to a bigger plant. This is in Infosys Bangalore. Just a list of the products that we have. uh, that different projects that we have done till now. Yeah. So this is the team that we have. Menak was my batchmate in IMBA and IIM Bangalore. Shri Krishna is our senior from IIM Bangalore. These are two of the co-founders. This is Praveen. Praveen is one of the hands-on engineers that one of the best hands-on engineers that I have seen. So he is instrumental in instrumental in developing the product. And then the rest of the team is here. So we have quite an experienced team now, and we are one of the pioneers in the biogas industry. So now what's the way forward? The way forward now with what we have is like we have set up in Guwahati, we are doing one in Aurangabad. So we are trying to do bigger and bigger plants with municipal corporations, which is one of the way forwards for us. But there's another way forward for us is where we do a distributed model where, because if I have an apartment complex, the apartment complex will not have that much of a gas requirement, or the supplying of the gas will be a difficult issue. So what we can do, but that apartment complex does need to process its waste. It cannot take its waste out. So what do we do? What we can do is that we have split the plant in half. So only the shredder and the pre-digester in that apartment complex, it gets processed there. It becomes as I said, it's broken down in long chain fatty acids. So it becomes kind of an acidic slurry, which can be now carried by a tanker. So here you see there are 2 tons here, 1 ton here, 2 tons in another center. So this is different kinds of waste that are being generated different places of the city. And this all accumulated can be now taken to another place where there is gas requirement, there is energy requirement. There might be power or a gas requirement is there, or you can bottle the gas in cylinders and ensure that your bio-CNG cylinders are there. So now the government has also helped us in the way that they have come with an initiative where IOCL, BPCL, GAIL, and HPCL are required, have a mandate to buy bio-CNG cylinders. Hence, it's a great boost for the biogas industry because now we have a ready offtake of the gas, ready buyer for the gas. So we have to just ensure that we accumulate the waste and ensure that the biogas is generated, bio-CNG is generated, and then there is a ready buyer for it. So this will enable us to have a distributed model where there are small anaerobic composters or these pre-digesters in different areas, and a final biogas area where there is exactly energy requirement, or where can be a space for a biogas bottling. So this, which we see as a way forward, because this helps us to cover the entire urban grid, and which helps us to ensure that wherever there are space constraints, financial constraints, which helps us to ensure that we are able to overcome these constraints and come up with a solution which is technically viable and as well as economically feasible. So that's how we see that way forward, going for this distributed model combined with a municipal model. So that's from my end. Thank you. I would gladly be available to take questions.
Thanks a lot, Madhurji. This is really interesting, and congratulations that we have the first biogas plant in Assam. Before we open up the floor for questioning, let me ask a couple of questions directly pertaining to the subject. One, we see through your presentation that most of your interventions or most of your projects have been with the private sector, particularly the hotels and the apartments.
Yeah.
Secondly, is this the only plant that you are dealing with the municipality in Guwahati, or how do you see dealing with 2 different kind of clients? What I mean to say that it's generally easier to deal with the apartment owners or hotels because they see the value directly, the gas coming for cooking. But municipalities are the primary movers and shakers for waste management. And as you said, 50% or often even bigger percentage of that in the smaller towns are organic waste. Unless the municipalities take up this kind of technology, adopt it, nurture it, and help us improve the situation, what is the way forward? So if you can just illuminate us a little bit more on dealing with the private sector that we have done so with 50 plus plants and your experiences with the municipality.
Yeah. So as you see, we have also we have learned a lot quite along the way how to deal with clients. And what we have seen is that we are the best way for us to go forward is to engage with partners in different places. So there will be partners who have experience of working with municipalities. There are partners who have working with different clients who are in hotel industry. So we are identifying partners where everywhere we can tie up with them, and we become the solution provider or the technology provider for them, and they are doing the front end business development for us. So that is one of the solutions that we have come up with. Like Guwahati municipality project, we bid it on our own and we won it on our own. But the Aurangabad municipality, which is a 30-ton per day plant, the bidding was done by someone else based on our technology. In Indore, we are doing the biggest bio-CNG project in Asia. There again, the bidding was done by someone else, and we are the technology provider. Same with what we are trying for in other municipal locations across the country. So that is how we are, as a company, we are trying to go forward. But at the same time, municipalities have more and more emphasis on biogas now is because of the Swachh Sarvekshan that the Swachh Bharat mission does every year, where waste processing through biomethanation has a large chunk of weightage on the marks, which in turn translates to them having more and more funds available for the Swachh Bharat mission. So this is how it has been connected, and this ensures that municipalities also now have an incentive to work to set up these systems, and we have seen that traction across the country. Now you can, if you look in, you will find a lot of tenders of various municipalities across the country that have started floating biogas tenders. I have recently seen in Phagwara, I have seen recently in Dharamshala, and then Panchgani. There are all small municipalities across the country, like non-municipality, I would say the urban local bodies have now an emphasis on biogas.
Home composting is something a lot of people is talking about. The Niti Aayog is talking about home composting and community composting. Besides that, a lot of people are interested that why throw it out, give it to collection agency, why not just do it at home? What is your opinion on the home composting? How sustainable both financially and operationally it is? And if you can give us an idea that how much it costs to set up a home composting or even a community composting where we can supply the cooking gas to few households.
No, are you talking about composting or are you talking about biogas?
Sorry, home biogas systems. Sorry. Yeah.
So home biogas systems economically might not work out, might not be feasible. On the contrary, I would suggest that on the home front, if people have the space, then they should go for composting. Our target, or what the whole idea of us starting this was to target the bulk waste generators, because there where the bulk of the waste is generated. If you look at the apartments or the homes, there the waste generation, although when it accumulates, it becomes a lot, but still individual households can go for home composting. But for an urban centric solution, home biogas systems is not the way forward, because as again urban areas hardly have the space for a biogas system, as well as there might be safety concerns associated with it. There might be piping issues associated with it. So it's not a very practically feasible solution, a home biogas solution. But home composting, yes.
In Kerala, they are having this huge number. They sometimes quote 7,000 household biogas systems, and most of them independent, one household, like they just put their own waste or maybe neighbor's waste. So why is it not possible to have where we have similar climate like in Northeast to home biogas
It's
systems?
not about the climate. See, our plant, it can be anywhere across the country because it's an insulated vessel and it has a heating mechanism in it. Okay. So the difference will come in the mindset, okay, and the mindset. But in Kerala also right now, I don't think the apartment complexes are doing it. because most of the city are now moving from the individual households to the apartment complex, because again the increase in density of the city. So as and when the density is increasing, the ability to have a home biogas plant will decrease. So right now, as of in Guwahati, in my experience, I would rather say that yeah, individual households are there. They should go for home composting, whatever is generated, so that the waste that is getting out of the home is less, and whatever waste that remains, whether that is maybe a sabji mandi or a hotel or any other organization which is generating waste in bulk, they should go for a biogas solution. So this will ensure that it becomes a, so we can have a model ward in the city where it's a zero waste ward, where
Zero waste ward.
where the waste, that whatever the small amount of organic waste that is being generated in the house is composted at home. Whatever e-waste, plastic waste, paper waste is taken out by some vendor, and in that ward, whatever the bulk waste is coming, that can be taken converted by biogas. So these three solutions together can ensure that we come up with a zero waste ward. So the idea forward is that it should be a decentralized solution. But decentralized at what level? I think maybe at a ward level or at a locality level. The best would be at ward level, because that comes under the purview of the municipality. A decentralized biogas at a home level is not feasible in my opinion.
Thanks. I'll reserve my other questions for the time being. Now the floor is open for all the participants to ask questions from Madhurji. I think it's quite an interesting model, and the way they have gone in last few years with 50 plus plants, this is simply amazing. Questions are welcome.
This is Milind. I have a couple of questions. So the one you have in Guwahati, it's through the municipality. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So, and where are they located?
It is in an area called Sabipur, which is near Chhatribari. So that if you have been old resident of Guwahati, there was this fish market, old fish market near Paltan Bazaar. So this is right near behind the Meghdut Cinema Hall.
Okay. So, you know, I'll be a little bit skeptical in a way that whenever I see any government project, quite often it runs for a year or so, and after that it's dysfunctional or it's not working. That's what I have seen. No offense, but do you think it will continue? What what Guwahatian could expect? Like, is it under, what could you tell to the community that it will be, under your project for 5 years, or what could you expect, being that it's a government project?
Yeah. So right now we have a 2-year contract with the government for the operation and maintenance, but that is not the challenge for me yet. The challenge is to ensure that we get 5 tons of organic waste, segregated organic waste at site every day. So that is something which I'm working with the municipality to identify what will be the least, what will be the best cost-effective way of getting 5 tons of waste at site as of now. Right now, because of the pandemic, the waste generation is less. So we are expecting maybe 500 kg to 1 ton at site now. But as now, since the market has opened up, maybe in a month or 2 months' time, we can expect that 5 tons of waste will be available. And the next challenge is to ensure that the street lighting is done in the area that is there. So we have to ensure that these 2 things are there. Functioning the plant, as of now, we have a 2-year contract, and we will renew it as and when it is this one gets over.
That's great, because I can see Sendu is there, so Midway Journey is there. Hopefully the young Fridays for Future are also listening. Maybe together we can support you guys, where we can work together. And what is approximate cost about the plant?
The Guwahati Municipal Project plant was 1.49 crores, about 1.5 crores for a 5-ton plant.
Okay. So if that is successful, then maybe you guys might have it near Panjabari or different areas. Is there any plan? Because Guwahati is going to be a smart city, right?
The authorities for that how we can scale it up. But we have to ensure that the waste availability is there first, because that is the key challenge. So from a 5-ton, I cannot go for a 200-ton in Guwahati, because there is 200 ton of organic waste in Guwahati, but that is not available in a segregated way form. So next stage will be going for a 30, 40 or 50 ton max. And then we'll see that once that is operational, how we can go for a. So what I have suggested to the municipality as of now, which trying to figure out getting the data of all the markets. So the distributed model that I talked about, we are trying to figure out a way where we can have a small plant in maybe the Pamohi market in Pamohi. Maybe we can have a Beltola Bazaar market. We have small units which will not take up much space, and then aggregate it and process it at a final site where we can do bio-CNG generation. And again, we have spoken to GAIL on that, and they are ready to offtake the gas from us if we are able to generate it. So the yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So the point. So why this solution for Guwahati is because the dumping or the landfill that Guwahati has in Boragaon, which is very close to Deepor Bill.
It is in the Deepor Bill.
Yeah. So NG has already given its orders to move the landfill from that side. But the challenge right now, in Guwahati, is that there is no such land area available. Wherever people are, the authorities have gone, they have faced resistance from the local people because they think it's a land dumping site and there will be no processing. So locals are objecting a lot. So we have to identify isolated spots, but we won't get isolated spots in a big way. So we have to ensure that we can do in smaller areas, and that's where a distributed model comes into the picture. So this solution is very customized. In Indore, we are doing a 500 ton per day plant, but that is a centralized plant because Indore has the segregation mechanisms in place to ensure that the waste that we get is at one location and in the segregated way. So that's the difference there.
So Madhur, just Sirsendu Sekhar Das has a question. Sirsendu runs a couple of campaigns through Midway Journey and Friday for Future, and basically works in waste management on awareness and behavior change. He says segregation is not happening in Guwahati. In that case, how will this biogas plant work? Where is the wet waste coming from for the biogas plant in Guwahati?
Right now, the wet waste will come from hotels and fish markets and meat markets. So right now, the waste will come from the bulk waste generators. So segregation in these places are more or less there because they are usually generating food waste or wet waste, and that is mixed in some quantity with plastic cups or plastic plates. So that there's a lot of segregation is already there. So the target is to start off with this bulk waste generators, and then see that to identify spots where we can get segregated waste there and process it there, and then bring it to a final site. So as of now, we are starting off with this bulk waste generators. But yeah, household level segregation, I admit, is very low in Guwahati.
We have another manufacturer and supplier of a biogas, Deshraj, with us. Why don't you ask your questions directly instead of me reading it out?
Okay.
What is the congratulations? I got the news. It was very, very, what I'll say, very encouraging for us.
So,
আচ্ছা মই সৰু 10 cubic meter per hour মানে 100 cubic meter per day compress কৰিব বিচাৰিছো সৰু সাপ্লায়াৰ কোনবা আছে নেকি is it okay if I speak in Assamese
absolutely
I have a vendor who into biogas bottling units like purification and bottling, but compressing at that scale I don't think would be financially viable. I'll give you the details. I'll supply you the details. But having cylinders at that scale, in my opinion, is not financially viable.
It is. I know it is not viable at this moment, but no one knows what is bio-CNG. Gobar gas ite ami promote koribo lagibo. To full scale up ami agbahibo lagibo.
Yeah.
Dui tinta vendor moi ready korisu. I want to supply them at the moment. Tar bisot 50.
I'll give you the details of this.
Cubic meter per hour start korim.
I also have the quotations from the vendors. I'll give you the name of the vendor. You can connect with it.
Yeah. Okay. So I have one more question about your plant in Guwahati. What are the engines you have put up for the generation of electricity? Small engines.
Coil Green 62 kVA.
Oh, how much? 62 kVA.
Yeah.
62 kVA. Okay, that's good. মই এদিন যাম কিন্তু চাব যাবলে।
Yeah, definitely. I will.
Are you with us? We have lost him. So there is another question from Siv Challa. Siv, please ask your question directly.
Yes, so actually I had 3 questions. One is on supply chain, one is on your technical specification, and one is on your customer.
Okay.
So as I think Deshraj has already asked this question, if there is I see most of your plants are, the customer is inside the premises, like Taj Hotel, right? And this, so you're not supplying, outside the, premises. How have you done anything like that? Maybe in the 1 kilometer radius, other than you have mentioned this, that, the last slide where you mentioned couple of societies going to a centralized, power generation. But
Yeah.
have you any experience of
No,
that?
supplying biogas through piping is not the solution. So we have to supply the biogas through bio-CNG. We cannot supply. So right now what happens in Taj Palace, that from the pressure vessel, through a pipeline, it goes directly to the kitchen. But if we have to supply in a 1 kilometer radius, or we have to supply in a locality, then we have to go for a bio-CNG solution. So the difference between biogas and bio-CNG is that biogas has 60% methane and 40% CO2. So we have to scrub out the CO2 because the CO2 doesn't have the calorific value. So we have to ensure that we scrub out the CO2 and put the biogas, like the methane part of the biogas in cylinders. And that cylinders are at quite high pressure because this is a voluminous gas. So we have to ensure that it's compressed at very high pressure. And then we have to supply it to the locality. Ideally, this is the bio-CNG is a solution that can be used commercially. Household level, the bio-CNG cylinders are a bit difficult to implement because of the weight of the bio-CNG cylinder. This bio-CNG cylinder is a cylinder which has the same amount of gas as the domestic LPG cylinder, will be about 100 kgs. So there will be a lot of issues with that part. So these bio-CNG cylinders come in cascades where it is connected. 4 are connected in one cascade. It goes in a trolley. It fits in the basement of a hotel or of a institution, and it is then connected to a pipeline. So bio-CNG is the way how we can supply the gas. On the other hand, if we have to supply electricity, then there are various mechanisms to do that. We can generate to a genset and then connect it to the grid. You need a synchronizing circuit to connect to the grid. You can do a captive generation, then you don't need a synchronizing circuit. So these are the different ways of how you can supply the gas.
Thank you, Madhuraj. The second question is, you have mentioned there's a stack flare, right?
Yeah.
On an emergency case. So seeing your most of the setup, the stack is at a very low level. So is that permissible along with the pollution control board?
Yeah. So as of now, since this, as per the standards that the PCB or the biogas industry has in India, this don't come under that purview because we are generating very low amount of gas in the premises. So as and when we have to go for bigger plants like the one that we are doing in Indore, which is a 500 TPD plant, there the pollution control board norms comes into the place. If you visit the Guwahati plant also, which is a municipal plant, there also the stacking flare will be placed at a much higher height.
Okay, thank you. And the last question is, since you mentioned you are having a central control room in Bangalore, so
Yeah.
you are monitoring all these plants at a central place.
Yes.
So I think that you are having some monthly operating cost which you are going to charge. Can you tell briefly about it?
So the monthly operating cost covers the cost of the operator. So our one operator can cover about 8 to 10 plants because he needs to monitor 8 to 10 plants, coordinate with the operators of that plant. Then there is the server aspect of it, and then there is the consumables part of it. So whatever consumables, enzymes, dilute acids, bicarbonates are required, those are there. So these 3 aspects are there that comes into the annual maintenance cost.
Yeah, I just wanted to know what is the cost if it is 1 ton per day machine.
1 ton per day plant, the cost comes to about 10 to 12,000 per month. But yeah, with scale that comes down a lot. So
Okay,
for
sorry.
after 5 ton will not be about 50,000. It will be about between 25 to 30,000.
Sanjay ji, last question, because I'm in Middle East, as Madhurika, I just want to check, because you have done in Nepal, Sri Lanka, Maldives. So have you researched like in Middle East, mainly in Dubai, Qatar,
Yeah,
Kuwait?
that's right. So Dubai has some different challenges. The good part of Dubai, which I also was pleasantly surprised, was that the gas prices in Dubai are quite high, which I thought would be low, considering the oil prices are low. But the gas and the electricity prices are quite high in Dubai. So and Dubai also has come up with. Where are you based in Middle East?
I'm in Kuwait.
You in Kuwait, okay. So I did a bit of research on Dubai. So the gas prices and the electricity prices are high in Dubai, and Dubai also has come with the regulations where they will charge for any wet waste they are taking out. So yeah, so Dubai is a good opportunity for us, but then again we have to have the right partner to get into the get into the system there, and also basically follow whatever policies or protocols are there to do business there.
Thank you, got it.
Thanks, Shiv. Thanks for asking those penetrative questions. We have Rohit Kulkarni. Rohit, welcome to the platform, and you can ask your question directly.
Good morning, Mr. Das. It was a very really nice presentation. Actually, I stay in Pune. I am working with Shiva Challa, and I stay in Pune.
Okay.
And in Pune, we had around 26 such mini biogas plants, which corporation had erected.
Yeah.
And out of that, almost 20 plants are shut down.
Yeah.
And the main reason was they are not receiving the segregated waste. That is the organic waste which you are supposed to get in the form. So that is a real big challenge, I think, for operationality of these plants. So
That
how
is
you, so how you want to control on that, because your plant performance will going to be dependent on that.
Yeah. So, sir, actually, not only so that is the version that the vendors usually give, but it is actually a two-way thing. One is that the technology also was not up to scratch in the Pune plants, because they didn't have this online monitoring, everyday monitoring of the plants, and that's why and so they didn't know what was happening inside the digester. And then also the fact that you have to work very closely with the administration. So it is not like a generator that I come, put in, and thus I just leave. So we have to work closely with the administration and ensure that the waste is available at site every day. So that is a challenge, and that is how we are trying to identify the NGOs. So for example, in Guwahati, what I'm trying to do is that the collection is done by NGOs in Guwahati. So we are trying to tie up with the NGOs directly, because the administration keeps on changing, the commissioner keeps on changing, the other people keeps on changing. But these NGOs are there for some time, and they have the contract to collect the waste and give it. So we need a letter from the municipality that these NGOs are directed to give waste at the site. This amount of waste at site every day. And also at the same time, we have to work closely with the administration to ensure that these mandates are followed.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And second was on the operation and maintenance part. Since the overall layout consists of tanks and pipes and valves, so do we need any skilled person for maintenance of the plant?
No, as I mentioned, any semi-skilled person can be trained. I'm very proud to tell you that right now the person that we are training for the Guwahati plant is an orphan which was staying nearby, and we needed a security guy for the plant, and he was staying in the plant itself with a shed there, and with the day-to-day operations, he has picked up in such a fast way that now I'm trying to coordinate with the municipality and ensure that he comes on the payroll, on the contracted payroll, and he runs the plant. So part of his training has already been done. So he was, you can say, an unskilled person. So the operations of the plant is so simple that you don't need any skilled person to do that. It is more of a understanding and following the instructions, because our operators who are based out of Bangalore will call the operator every day to instruct that
Okay.
this is how much you need to feed, this is how you have to do, and that is done on a daily basis.
Okay.
Anything that is,
Thanks, Mr. Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Das.
thank you.
Appreciate.
Any more questions? You have a big compliment, Madhurji. I will read it out later on. A
Thank
very big compliment, which I will read it out later on. But any more questions from anybody?
This is Milin again. So my question is that, in villages, in Assam villages, slowly they are also become, the waste is generating quite a lot.
Yeah.
So, and I do not know composting point of view, but is it just, say there is Samir Bodle who is working in, various villages. Is it possible to like have a cluster of villages doing together, or it's not a good idea in villages? I was just wondering.
So
Sorry.
the cluster of villages, we have to figure out the logistics, because in the process of generating biogas, we should not be burning more and more fossil fuel. So we have to ensure that that grid is there. Maybe a 5 kilometer or a 10 kilometer range, whatever waste we can get, we can try to collect it there and process it and give the gas or the electricity to a school or a community kitchen or a temple, whatever is the villages benefits the most. So that is something which we can figure out. But yeah, in villages, the waste generation will be less, and having at the huge scale will be an issue. So bio CNG might not be a solution, because for bio CNG we need at least 30-40 tons of waste per day. So for a village, maybe a 2-ton, 3-ton solution we can look at. When a village will have a market, so it can that biogas plant may be able to light up the market. So that is something, a solution that we can look into. But we have to see that we don't go too much out of the way to get the waste.
So again, coming back to Guwahati, like schools like TC School or Cotton Collegiate School or Cotton College, or say Uzan Bazar Ghat, they, or Panjabari, near Panjabari, that flyover market. These are the areas where they have lots of waste.
Yeah.
Will there be a solution like 2 tons or something like that? Those
That is what I had met the VC of Cotton College, and he was interested in such a solution. So, but this pandemic hit, and so that has taken a backseat. But yeah, the data that I'm collecting right now is regarding the waste available. So these are the sites maybe we can have in Cotton College. So this distributed model can now rightly fit into the waste generating, because Cotton College will have the gas usage because there are hostels there. But a Beltola Bazar or a Panjabari Bazar will not have a gas usage, because firstly there is no space, secondly there is no gas consumer there. So a distributed model works out in such kind of a scenario.
And last question, what will be the minimum cost, like what you are talking about Cotton College, for example? What will be the minimum amount?
We were trying to set up a 300 kg system. So the budget for that was about 20 lakhs, including all the civil infrastructure. So again, I would like to highlight that the mindset of people is that we should have a grand civil infrastructure to have a biogas plant. That is not what we are trying, because sometimes the cost of the civil comes to about 60-70% of the plant cost. So we are trying to ensure that the plants are robust in itself and not have a very solid civil structure around it. We just have a platform for it to ensure that the costs are lower. But at the same time, we spend more on the quality of the material. For example, I'll just give you that the Guwahati plant is a mild steel tank with insulation outside and FRP lining inside. But that is an older technology. We have now seen upgraded to a glass fused steel, where the sheet is now fused with high temperature glass at 900 degrees. So that there is insulation is great, the life of the plant is great. And so this kind of investments we are doing in the quality of the plant, but we try to make it the civil infra low.
Thank you.
I have one question, Sanjay ji, if you're okay.
Please go ahead.
Yes. So Madhur Das, Mr. Das.
Yeah.
So, actually, I was looking for biomethanation internationally. And yesterday night, when Mr. Sanjay sent your this thing, he has convinced me that I should work with you people. And he's my mentor for solid waste management. So,
Thank
I cannot say no to him. So, but definitely, I will be also being an international market, project manager for, and I'm presently in LNG. So I know we are buying LNG from Qatar and other countries, Kuwait we are buying. So this particular question, what I have is, see, you have mentioned about that second last slide where you are looking for a community of, setups, right? And then it is being transported to a common facility where we are going to do this bio CNG or biomethanation.
Yeah.
So do you have a project report? Because I want to seriously work on this, okay? And maybe I have to start from scratch if you don't have. So if you have a project report where, let us take a community of 10 1,000 household, 2,000 household, couple of hotels. So do you have any that sort of thing? And with the mindset, okay, if the whole thing works out, it could cost us 5 crores, 10 crores, anything like that?
No, we don't have it ready yet, but right now I'm working with both Gurgaon municipality and Guwahati municipality for such kind of a project. So maybe in a week or 10 days time, I should have both the reports ready for these two cities, where we can identify where we can get the waste from and where we can finally process the gas in. So yeah, right now we are working on that, but as of now we don't have it.
Okay, because exactly when you mentioned Gurgaon, because my setup is based out of Gurgaon only, the first of where we are starting.
So in Gurgaon, because there are so many corporates also, we are looking for CSR funding. We are looking for any investors who are big, because the model that which we are highlighting now is the split model. That is also very good returns for the investor, because there are two sources of revenue, actually three sources of revenue here. One is the waste processing fee that we get from the apartment complexes or the hotels. Then there is the revenue coming from the bio CNG, and third is the revenue coming from the manure. So there, with these three sources of revenue, we can it becomes a very good ROI project. So we are trying to do that for both for Guwahati and Gurgaon.
Sorry, when you said this, they have one very interesting question, because Mr. Rohit also raised the problem is with the quality of the organic segregation. So
Yeah.
do you have any tie-up? Because I am presently looking out for very
in Gurgaon we have a company called Balancing Bits. Right now they are managing about 18 RWAs in Gurgaon. So we have tied with them for the operational aspects.
Okay, no, my question was more of equipment. So there are a lot of equipments being manufactured in India and abroad, right, where they claim to segregate. So are you in touch with any equipment manufacturers?
Are required when you have a central site. The one that I'm talking about is the segregation at source. For that, you don't need any equipment. You just need the mindset of the people to change there. And Gurgaon, as of now, has that mindset ready. Apartment complexes are segregating. So for that, we don't need equipments. And since we are doing a decentralized model, the use of equipments are very less. A bit of equipment will be required at the final center, because there will still be a little bit of segregation required. And there a conveyor belt with people across, trained people across can be done. We were working on robotic segregation. We had got a grant from BIRAC for robotic segregation, but to come into production will take some time.
Thank you.
Madhurji, let's say we have a typical 1 ton or 2 ton plant. What is the break-even period? This is one question that I have faced across the globe. Okay, I'm ready to invest this much. What is my break-even period? Is it a sustainable business? Can it generate profits? Maybe this is my also final question. We have run out of the time, but I would still request you to answer.
Actually, the break-even depends on the quality of waste coming in, the output that is being used, and the scale of the plant. So a 1 ton plant in a hotel where there is food waste, because food waste has higher productivity. So in a hotel, 1 ton plant will give us a break even where the end usage is gas. The break even will come within 3 to 3.5 years. But if we are going for electricity, then the break even will be higher. It will be about 5 to 6 years. again, if the waste input is not food waste and it is more like a sabji
गाजर
mandi
हलवा कर
or a cow dung, then the then the break even is higher. So the depending on the feedstock as well as the use of output, the break even will vary. As well as a 1 ton plant cost about between 35 to 40 lakhs. But at the same scale, if we are going for a 50 ton plant, then the cost per ton comes to about 15 to 20 lakhs. So the cost comes down a lot. So then again, the break even will change in that way.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you so much. If there is no other questions, we are slightly running ahead of the time, 13 minutes, but that's okay. It does happen. If there are no more questions, then should I read out the compliment now? I think so. I don't know who wrote on the platform. His name is not there. It says, "Sir, this webinar is like a Teachers' Day return gift to the students." Thank you so much. So thank you so much, Madhurji.
Thanks a lot.
I think when we spoke in the morning, today morning, I was just quoting this, that today being the teachers, we are going to learn something from you. And somebody wrote it, and this coincidence is surprising. So thank you so much. Madhurji, on a parting note, I must say that we would like to collaborate with you, particularly not just for Guwahati. We are into waste management, doing collection, transportation, and composting, and a bit of a segregation. And we have a grand plan for Guwahati, and we'd certainly like to collaborate with you and see that how we can make it a better city. My dream in the next 3 years is to make Guwahati in the top 10 cities of India, like Indore and Mysuru are there. So to bring them to, and we'll definitely need help from experts like you to bring it to that level. And with this parting note, I thank you so much for agreeing to be part of the platform, and we look forward to a collaborative engagement in future. Thank you so much, Madhurji. And thank you, Anajori team, for being with us. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.